Does it spark joy? Howdy, I'm Shannon and this is the Wanderluster, where together we explore topics that will help spark your sense of adventure so you can live an amazing life on your own terms. If you're like me, you've probably seen the KonMari method everywhere. Marie Kondo is everywhere on Netflix, she's on TV, she's on memes on the internet. Marie Kondo is like the savior of the internet. She's like up there with Oprah at this point. And if you have positively benefited from the KonMari method of basically evaluating everything in your space to see if it sparks joy and serves you, to help you declutter and detoxify your life, you probably are wondering what else you could be doing with the KonMari method of sparking joy and eliminating all the crap in your life for pretty much everything else. If that's you, I have 10 ways you can spark joy in your life and basically KonMari method your entire life. First way you should try to spark joy in your life is going over your morning routine. If you find that the first thing you do is wake up and scroll through your phone, not really feeling excited about your day, maybe it's a good idea to see if maybe waking up at a different time of the day, finding a book to read, meditating, or doing morning stretches, or like me, having a giant glass of water first thing, may help spark more joy in your morning routine and help you get your day started off on the right foot. There are plenty of productivity blogs out there you can check out that will help you spark a little bit more joy even if you're not a morning person. Another area of your life that you can figure out if it sparks joy is dating. If you're like me and you're on the dating apps, you may find it to sometimes be a soul-sucking experience to try and spark a little romance in your life. If you find that the current dating scene or the way you're going about it does not spark joy, maybe it's a good idea to change things up a little bit. There are plenty of other apps out there you can try, but one of my favorite tips is to focus on you. Instead of focusing on dating apps to meet new potential guys or gals, maybe focus on trying new things in your life so you can find other people that align with those things. If you've been meaning to go to yoga or CrossFit, to volunteer with a charity you care about, or maybe even do some meetups locally, that might be a better way to meet potential guys and gals than going on the dating apps. Really, if you find that you're going through kind of a slump in your personal life and you're on the dating scene like I am, evaluating whether or not the way you're approaching dating sparks joy might be a good exercise. KonMari the shit out of your Tinder. Another way to spark joy in your life is to KonMari method your friendships. We all have friendships that are no longer serving us, or people that typically want to start drama or distract us or make us feel guilty about our choices, or basically people who only show up when they need something. If that is the case, maybe it's a good idea to reevaluate some of those boundaries and decide on your terms who you want to keep in your life. Now, this doesn't mean that you just purge everyone in your life, but we all have a couple friendships where we probably need to reel it in a little bit or set healthy boundaries with people who are taking more than they're giving. If some of these friendships don't spark joy, maybe it's time to take a step back. Need to spark more joy? Go through your emails. Emails do not spark joy, and you probably have way too many marketing emails that make your inbox absolutely crazy. KonMari method the heck out of your inbox and move on. In that spirit, the next thing I would suggest is that you KonMari method your social media. If you're scrolling through Instagram and feeling crappy about your life, maybe it's a good idea to unfollow some people without feeling guilty about it. If you find that you're scrolling on Instagram and you're triggered to buy things you don't really want, you're spending more money than you want, or you feel crappy about how much you weigh, how you look, your family life, your personal life, your job, your standard of living, maybe it's a good idea to go through your Twitter account, your Facebook, and your Instagram and make sure you unfollow anyone that makes you feel less than. If your accounts aren't sparking joy, maybe it's time to show them the door. The next thing I would suggest is that you KonMari method what you eat. I did Whole30 a couple months back, and I have to say it absolutely changed my life. Whole30 means that you have to take out all the things you typically lean on, like sugar, alcohol, carbs, even legumes. I don't know why legumes, but you basically find out if anything you're eating is making you feel less than stellar. I actually found out in the process of doing an elimination diet like Whole30 that gluten and I do not get along. I have been able to do great strides in my health by eliminating gluten out of my diet, and it also makes sense because I found out I have an autoimmune disorder, so it's likely that I have a gluten intolerance or a celiac disease. But there might be something like sugar, caffeine, alcohol that's not making you feel good, and maybe you should go through your daily intake and see what sparks joy and what you need to eliminate completely or simply cut back on. Most of us could do wonders for ourselves if we just stop downing caffeine because we're not sleeping enough and drinking too much. Maybe give it a try. All right, you gotta spark some joy in your money. What are you spending money on? Take some time to KonMari your budget. That would be my next tip. If you don't really know where your money's going or what really gives you the biggest payoff, before you can decide that you need to spend less, you need to figure out where you're spending too much and what's not giving you the emotional payoff. I don't feel that frugality is a thing you should adhere to if it's not making you happy, but chances are there's some fluff in your budget that could use elimination. For me, it was cable TV. That was an easy cut. It was also spending money on a gym I wasn't using, and also clothes that I didn't really like. I was buying clothes pretty mindlessly just because it had free shipping, and when I decided that I was spending way too much money in certain categories, I was able to double down and spend money in ways that made me really, really happy and sparked joy. One thing that I don't apologize on spending money for now is going to the massage studio every month and getting a massage. It's helped cut down on my headaches and migraines, and also every couple months I get my hair done. And I don't have to apologize for those things because I no longer spend money on shoes that I don't really care about because shoes and purses don't really have a huge emotional payoff for me. And now I can spend it on things and activities that I actually do enjoy. So you gotta KonMari your spending and see where your money is giving you the most joy. This probably is one of my favorites, and as much as I love literacy, I would say you should KonMari method the books that you read. I had for a very long time a sense of guilt that if I started a book and even if I didn't enjoy it, I would power through it just to say that I had read it. I don't do this anymore. If a book does not spark joy and I don't enjoy reading it, I don't finish it. And I know that seems very anti-intellectual of me, but I assure you there are plenty of good books out there that will get you riveted and excited to turn the page, whether they're fiction or nonfiction. Only spend your precious life on books that you really enjoy reading. Of course, you can challenge yourself with certain pieces or certain genres that you're not used to, but if you find that you're really dreading opening up a book and it's just collecting dust on your shelf, stop reading it. This next tip is kind of in the same vein as where you spend your money, but it's kind of different, so bear with me. Even though I think it's very important to KonMari method your spending, I think you should also take a bigger look at your finances in general. Do your finances spark joy? When you open up your bank account, are you excited or do you dread what you see? Do you have regret and remorse that you haven't contributed to your retirement plans? Do you know that you should have an emergency fund but never seem to make it a priority? Look over everything, not just how you spend your money, which I mentioned earlier, but every facet of your financial life and see if your money is serving you. Are you putting it towards things that matter? And do you feel empowered about your money? If not, spend some time, call somebody who's knowledgeable, maybe talk to a financial planner or read a book like You're So Money or something by Susie Orman or Dave Ramsey just to get yourself started and get excited about your money. When you open up your bank account, even if you're not where you want to be, it should spark joy instead of not wanting to open up the Chase app or Mint because you're freaked out about your cash. Your money really should spark joy, and even though you may not be where you want to be right now with your finances, knowing that you're on the right path can make you very, very happy and spark a ton of joy. Even if you're not financially where you want to be, knowing that you're gonna get there someday soon because you're taking strides towards it will spark a ton of joy, I promise. The final KonMari method area of your life I would recommend you look into is your evening routine. I mentioned morning routine as our first tip, but I would really say that it's probably a good idea to see if your evening routine also sparks joy. If you find that you're not getting enough sleep, you're not sleeping through the night, you wake up groggy and not excited, maybe you're spending a little bit too much time on your phone or watching TV late into the night, and it could be a good idea to have a wind down routine to see if you're really excited about going to bed. Sleep is one of those things that we only really care about when we don't get enough of it, but winding down and getting ready for bed in a very mindful way will help your quality of life overall and will spark joy in all areas of your life. A couple changes I've made have really helped me. I have a glass of herbal tea, I get off of my phone, and maybe I'll read a couple pages of a book before I get to bed. This is the only way that I've been able to get my bedtime from like 11:45 down to like a moderate, like 10-ish. I also do some magnesium supplements when I'm really having trouble sleeping, and I also just try to meditate, and that's like my final thing. If a boring book won't put me to sleep, meditation totally will, and I find that my evening routine is just as important as my morning routine, and when I sleep well, it's much easier to spark joy in all areas of my life, truth be told. Alright, so that was a lot. I hope that this list sparked some joy, or at least sparked some good ideas on how you can spark more joy in every area of your life. If you're like me, you're a huge Marie Kondo fangirl. I loved her book, I love her show, everyone's talking about her right now. And if you've already gone through your closet, your pantry, and around your house, you're probably wondering what next. And I hope this list was informative and inspirational for you. I know that there's probably other categories in your life you could use to spark more joy. If you have ideas on things you've done that have helped you live a more optimized and joyful existence, please go ahead and leave them in the comment section below. I get inspired by comments and seeing what sparks joy for other people. I think it's so illuminating and so awesome. I'm going to be uploading my channel every single week with new videos to help you spark joy and live a more optimized, holistic life. So if that speaks to you, I hope you'll go ahead and subscribe. And until next time, guys, thank you so much for spending your time with me today. Stay sparked, stay awesome. I love you. See you next time. Bye.